Webcam. Webcam is not working. This is another ticket that I've created. So in this case, we're definitely, definitely going to assign the ticket to ourselves first. We're going to talk to the customer, and I'm going to pretend like I don't know this customer. I'm going to say hello. This is Irvin with help desk. May I take control of your computer to fix webcam? Sure. Whatever, however you feel comfortable saying this, make sure that it's simple and understandable. So the issue is, I can't use my webcam in meetings. So it could be webcam is disabled, or simply uh, disabled, simply broken, or the driver itself needs to be repaired, or sometimes I've seen an issue where a Windows update breaks it or something like that. In which case, you definitely want to reinstall the webcam, but you want to make sure that it's turned on. Sometimes the user can press a combination key on their laptop or just a one key. They press it and it disables their webcam. Sometimes you get, a new laptops will have a little slider, physical slider on the webcam itself. You slide it over and it blocks the webcam. So you're uh, once you talk to them, once I would talk to them if possible. I like talking to people on the phone, but you can troubleshoot this without talking to them on the phone by logging into their computer. Once you get a response from them, they say okay, you can say thanks. What is your computer name or IP address, so I can access your computer? Now there's a database where you can look up somebody's computer, their IP address, simply based off their name. In my company that I work for, I don't need to even ask them. I can look all this up just by their name. I can see where they logged in last time. You guys may not have these tools when you work help desk, but I have a tool that lets me know where from, at which computer did this user log into, at which time, and all of that. I have these tools, and if you have them, that's great. You don't have to go through all of this. And then I'm going to send, and we're pretending like we're doing a chat with them, a reply to customer. And if they say, I don't know, then you can just send them a link like I showed you before through, for example, Damer, or you can start a meeting. You can join a meeting that they've created. Matter of fact, that might be the best way to troubleshoot this, because it says here, I can't use my webcam in meetings. So start the meeting, whether it's a Zoom meeting, whether it's a WebEx meeting, Skype, I don't know, I don't care, it doesn't matter. Uh, go in there, take control of their computer while they're in the meeting. And through that meeting, you can take control of their computer too. You can request access to take control of their desktop. Or you can do both. You can start a meeting and then you can use, for example, like I use Dameware to access their computer or any other remote control tool. And then once inside, look at the basic settings for, see if there's, let's see, do I have WebEx installed on this computer? Well, here's just the camera. Here's just the camera app, and we can say that there's nothing there. It says we can't find your camera, and that's fine because I know this computer doesn't have a camera installed. That's clear cut. It's just not working. So you're gonna move on from here. It's not like just a black screen, but there's audio. So you ask the customer, well, what is exactly the problem? And if they say, well, people can hear me, but they can't see me. So it could be just disabled, disabled, disabled camera. Let me see here. Inside of the meeting itself. Just a moment. Bear with me. I'm going to install Zoom here real quick and show you an example of that because I don't want to leave you just be like, oh, okay, well, what do I do? Because some people literally don't know who are watching my videos. So if there's a meeting going on and they simply They simply need the camera turned on. Once you go in, you can turn on the camera. See, like this right here, you know, it says start video and there's a red line through it. Well, then you want to click it. You know, and it says here cannot start audio, failed to start the video camera. Please select another video camera in settings. You know, this and that. Then we can check the cameras and we can see that there are no other cameras. You know, if we go to video settings, we can also see that there are no cameras. So now you can move on to troubleshooting the camera itself. Okay, so we can close this, leave meeting, and we're done with this part until we can troubleshoot later to make sure that that it's working. So now we have to hit up the device manager, open up a device manager. So if you just right click the Windows icon and then go to device manager, make sure you run it as administrator, because now I got this pop up that says you're not logged in as an administrator. And then you can go in and look for media devices. Is it here? No, digital media devices. I forget what it's called, but it's one of these. Software, sound, biometric, digital, something. Hold on, I'll plug in an actual. I'll plug in an actual camera. That, by the way, that could be the issue too. It could be camera not plugged in if it's just a desktop camera. Hold on, bear with me. I have a camera. All right, did you guys see how it came up under imaging devices? Imaging devices. Here it is. HD Pro Webcam C920, which is actually a really good camera to have for just things, because it's HD, full 1080p and all that. Anyways, we can see there's a problem right there, right? And now the problem is gone because the driver itself updated automatically. So now it's installed and it's working. So if the issue was to plug it in, then you would simply plug it in, Now, let me open this. Let me open Zoom to make sure. And at the same time, if you needed to install the driver, again, make sure you run the device manager as administrator and then just right click the camera and select update the driver or reinstall the driver. We'll try that as well here in the meeting. So if I start a new meeting here, I'm going to turn on the camera. It's going to be just looking on the outside, I think, through my basement window, through my office window. Come on, Zoom now. Now Zoom is not. Look at this. Zoom meeting is not responding great. So every time something gets stuck like this, you may not be able to close it when it's not responding like this. What I like to do is go to the task manager and just kill it from there. Come on, Zoom. There it is. It finally closed, I think. There we go. New. Here we go. So it's just looking at, the camera is working now. You can see that clearly. And what it was trying to project, because I'm remoted into this computer, so my picture is not going to show up nicely here, but you can see that my camera is now working. It's just looking at through my basement window door, if you will. So that is working. And again, the reason it's not coming up properly here is because the remote computer I'm connected to is actually a Wi-Fi computer, and remote desktop is not good at conveying video at all, but you can see that it's working. And you can also double check. You can double check with the user to make sure that it is working. You see how it's kind of slowing down because my remote session is actually slow. And this is type of stuff you may expect to see whenever you're troubleshooting this type of stuff. And I'm going to go over there and just wave a little bit so you guys can see. You see me waving? Okay. All right. So that is that, and we're going to stop the video because I don't want to keep running it. Okay. So that is fixed, and we're going to close all of that. And let me just go back to the device manager here. Device manager, imaging devices. So if you right click it, go to properties, you can go to driver and then roll back or uninstall. You can uninstall the device driver and let it install itself like it did when we plugged in the camera. You can try to update the driver and see if there's a new one available. But you can see that this one installed fairly new from March 27, 2021. You can see that it installed. So you can install, reinstall the drivers, and that would be basically the only thing left that you can do. After that, then it's physically broken, you know. But then again, you know, it could be a key stroke if it's like an embedded laptop type of camera that just sits on top of your screen. There could be just a key that they need to press to turn it on. That could also be the case. You'd be surprised. Well, you shouldn't be surprised, I should say, because that's what happens. So I'm going to add internal note and I'm going to say fixed camera by installing it. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't want to I'm not going to make customer look bad because in this case they just needed to plug it in, you know, and you know, we're just going to say, you know, you won't always want to be respectful because you don't know who's reading this type of stuff. Well, you know, but there might be some higher ups there might be reading this stuff. It could be a manager and you know, he may not care too much, but then you got these people who are higher ups who got nothing better to do but kind of go through things, go through tickets and go through QAs, make sure, you know, just to find a small issue that they could complain about because you know they may not have anything else to do. You know, they might want to look to cut somebody. I don't know. You know, they might be looking to downsize and they might be looking to find anybody who makes a tiny mistake. Not to scare you guys, but just to kind of cover yourself and be professional as much as you can.